Hello and welcome to another SciFirst MovieTalk episode. In this episode I will be discussing Disney's 2018 follow-up to their all-time classic Mary Poppins Returns, as directed by Rob Marshall and starring Emily Blunt as the famous nanny. Please be warned that there might be some minor spoilers in this review, given some of the plot lines I want to discuss. So yeah, please do be warned about that. So please switch off now if you don't want to listen to any spoilers at all for the movie. Having grown up with the original Mary Poppins, the most beloved repeated film at Christmas time, I was eager and keen to see how the sequel would bring Mary Poppins to a new generation, and how a story would continue to unfold. The film is set some 25 years after the story of the original movie, and sees the Banks children, Michael and Jane, as featured in the first film, now all grown up. The movie revolves around Michael's family struggling to stay afloat in depression-torn London after a family tragedy, with his children Annabelle, John and Georgie, all growing up before their time. The family are down on their luck and pretty much out of money, with the prospect of eviction basically from the family home looming. Michael remembers his dad having family shares in the Fidelity Fiduciary Bank where his dad once worked, and where Michael still does, and to who the mortgage repayments are due. However, their location has long since been forgotten. Sensing that urgent help is required, the children are actually found by Mary Poppins one day, who promptly proceeds to insist she becomes their nanny, much to the surprise of the dad, Michael. Fun and frolics ensue as Mary Poppins then proceeds to take the children on a number of fantastical adventures which appear to be seemingly random events, but which do accumulate in a grand master plan with basically to save the Banks family from becoming bankrupt. The plans are often attempted to be thwarted along the way by the delectfully evil William Wilkins, as played excellently by Colin Firth, the new corrupt chairman of the bank. A grand showdown ensues towards the end of the film, with a nail-biting climax. Can their share certificates be found and presented to the bank before the eviction deadline? So, I must admit that after watching the film, I wasn't overly impressed. I know that I'm going to get lynched for saying this, but I wasn't. For me, it just didn't carry the majesty of the original. It did have quite a lot of throwbacks to the original and featured many of the same characters, albeit if some of them were played by different actors, such as the Admiral, who plays a bigger role and more integral to the overall story arc than they had done previously, which I did think was a nice touch. These homages to the original helped the movie helped the sequel feel more nostalgic for me than anything else, with an excellent nod to the original featuring as part of the film's final sequences. I think Emily Blunt did an excellent job as Mary Poppins. She had some massive shoes to fill, being on the back of such a classic original. But for me, it did seem like she took a bit too much fun out of doing things, as I'll explain. Like, for instance, in the original Mary Poppins, as portrayed by Julie Andrews, she was always quite a stern character, I thought. Although things were getting quite silly around her, she always kept a level head on her feet, on the floor, so to speak. Whereas Emily Blunt's Mary Poppins can be seen visibly enjoying the adventures, and in fact, in one scene, and this is in the trailers, so I hope I'm not giving too much away, as the children embark on an adventure in their bathtub with Mary Poppins, Emily Blunt has the biggest grin on her face and utters the words, "Here we go again." Now, perhaps this was intentional, and Emily Blunt certainly gave the character her own unique twist. This is just one of my own personal thoughts on this aspect of the movie. There were references in the film to the fact that nannies were in low demand, with there being not much call for them given the Depression. Nobody wanted or needed them anymore, so you did kind of get the feeling that even Mary Poppins needed to be needed. And perhaps this was why she relished the opportunity to be the bank's nanny once again. And this was evident in a few scenes for me. However, this never actually went anywhere. In the film, this never got answered, it never actually played out as part of the main story arc. Additionally, and again, and now I'm probably going to be the minority for this, especially given the awards and the film's music received, I didn't think the songs were as strong as those in the original, nor what I think they could have been. I just didn't find them catchy enough for me, and sat here today, I can honestly say that I can't remember any of them. In this age of films with great original soundtracks such as The Greatest Showman and Disney's own Frozen, I was just expecting more oomph, to be fair, from those in Mary Poppins Returns. Saying all of that though, do I think it's worth a watch? Yeah, I do. I didn't dislike the film particularly. I've got to compare it to the original, as that of course set the benchmark. However, Mary Poppins Returns was a good film and very enjoyable all told. I certainly enjoyed watching the cartoon elements and seeing the comedy and musical numbers unfold, which were still good, just not that memorable for me. I did particularly like the fact that the stories told in this film actually weaved into a main plot in more of a way than they did in the original. All had a purpose as individual pieces of the overall whole. Nothing happened by chance. What I will say, in my defence for my review of this film, is that my wife, who is an absolute Disney fanatic, everything Disney she loves, didn't love this. She was as bewildered as I was after watching this film and felt let down. It wasn't what she expected it to be like. I hadn't said anything prior to getting this verdict. This was her own conclusion. However, just to add a different slant on it, I do actually work with somebody who I quizzed after I'd watched the film, and yes, was met with some disbelief about my thoughts on the movie, who absolutely loved the film. She couldn't wait to go see it at the cinema and even went to see it more than once, I believe. Even purchasing the soundtrack, remembering the words to each and every song, which she thought were just fantastic. Perhaps the film's a little bit like Marmite in that respect. Who am I to say? So, thank you for watching. That does bring me to the end of this episode. If you like my reviews and general movie discussions, please do leave a like on this page. Please do hit that subscribe button. But please do leave any comments you feel like leaving, especially if you have any suggestions for any upcoming SciFirst Movie Talk episodes, and of course films you'd like me to watch as part of this channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.